Hello, Collective. Welcome to the Power of Three and Me. My name's Amber. If this is your first time, and if you're returning, welcome back. It's another missing child case. This one, now, I realize that the way this channel works, I just do the readings, okay? I set up my stuff here, but I can't like show you, I don't edit, I don't do that kind of stuff. So I can't show you pictures and all that stuff. You can easily search it up quickly and get a visual of the child if you're not familiar with the case. His name is Gus Lamont, and he's from Southern Australia. Now, the area that he went missing in is it's like very outback. They had goats. It's like like it's very kind of, I would say barren keeps coming to me. It's very, I don't know, kind of not deserty, but just like I say, look it up if you're not familiar. For those of you that are, you know what I'm trying to explain. I seen one video of him where he was riding his bike, and when I say riding, I mean he was on a small bike, pushing it with his feet. He had a little hat on. He's got curly, like strawberry blonde hair. Cute little guy. The thing is with this one, I don't get the same feeling with him that I did with, the other, like this sinister, somebody took him, I don't pick that up with this one. I'm saying I'm right. I'm just, excuse me, saying that I think there's something very weird and bizarre with this one, something that nobody could even know or foresee happening ever. Um, and I know it sounds strange. So I might as well just spit out before I do anything here because it's just coming through. Okay. It's not about the cards yet. And you guys are going to think I'm nuts, but you know that like, again, where he's from, and I don't know what could possibly be there, but I'm sure there's lots of things in as far as nature goes. But okay, you've heard of like like very large birds like swooping down and picking up dogs, right? Small dogs. This is what I'm getting. Like something out there could have swooped down and grabbed him. He's not very big. And then, dropped him or something somewhere. You know what I mean? Very, I don't, it's nuts. But this is what's coming through. Something like that. We'll see what comes out. Even though also there are apparently some unrelated charges to the one grandparent. Uh, Still, I don't, I just, even looking at the photos of the parents, which were separated, but I think now are kind of bonded through this tragedy. Um, we'll just see what comes out. Because, like I say, I know that's very bizarre and weird. But so this is for Gus Lamont. It's March 2026, and we're looking into his disappearance. All right. Okay. Your faith has saved you. Go in peace. So automatically, I'm picking up. Okay, see, the child is being told to go. You're fine. And like I said, I just mentioned that the one little video you see of him, he's pushing he's in bare feet, um, but he's playing. But I feel like this because you see of the child, there's like a nervous energy. Like I would rather just stand here and play here. You know, they, it's kind of picking up that there could have been something out there that was dangerous and maybe even unknown. But children are very intuitive. They're not as affected yet. I mean, as affected as, adults. as far as the timeline goes, where we have got time to be put through the ringer, so to speak. So, okay, the overall energy, we're using the Magic of You is what it's called. Magic of You. So this is for Gus Lamont, and we're looking into where the poor little guy is and what happened to him. And is this a crime case, or is this just, solitude, alone but not lonely? So once again, I'm picking up the sense that he was alone in that video. And I feel like, look, alone but not lonely. In that video, he was by himself. He didn't have a bunch of little kids around him, and I think he's got siblings, but they're older. But I think, again, picking up, maybe he had a very little free spirit that had a good imagination and could play by himself, and just have fun and enjoy the outdoors. But there were things I feel like to be literally afraid of. Hmm. And maybe, again, it could be something we're aware of or something we're not. So, supporting energy, we're using the dark mirror. So, hopefully, this narrows things down for Gus Lamont, colorless angel. Hmm. Card number 10, colorless angel. This creature, this is it a creature or is it just, I don't know if those are wings. Oh, it's an albino. Okay. Um, Someone that's just like everybody else, but looks different. Now he doesn't, but um, very he stands out in the sense that he's got very beautiful strawberry blonde hair, and it's very curly, and he wore in this video that I saw him, and I think it's the only one available. He's got this really kind of different but cute hat on, like a very big rimmed hat on. Alone but not lonely, colorless angel. A lot of imaginary friends, that kind of thing. Like I say, he wasn't a baby, but he wasn't very old. Like I would say maybe around 5, I'm guessing. So no, I don't sit and do all this homework about their age and all that. I don't need to. This isn't what this is about. And it's not about showing you visuals about all that. You can do that on your own if you're interested. This is a spiritual thing. We're going to see what comes through my intuition and the tarot and oracle. And again, you are absolutely welcomed to comment your thoughts about the case and what you think. I'm always interested. So we're going to start off with the true crime oracle cards. So let's see what comes out to give us, a baseline of what the cards are going to tell us happened. For Gus Lamont, this is March 2026. He's been missing for months now. Party and wooded area. Hmm. Well, I don't think he partied. And this wooded area, I don't think would exist where he came from. But this party, I don't know if you guys can see or not, but through all that color, if you look that background, it's not a club. It's a wooded area, which is bizarre. It almost is extremely similar to the wooded area that came out if you kind of look. You see how there's that light coming through there in the dark? And then the party one, it's extremely light coming through a lighted area. That's why this is coming out. Something about, I'm also going to say, okay, and oh, well, this fell out. I didn't even see it. It's laying there. It's homicide. Yet I don't think anybody person did anything to him. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Hmm. Bottom of the deck, outer space. Behind that is power supply. And again, aside from the greenery, like there's grass there, and the area that he was from didn't look like this, but it was a wide open area, if you know what I mean. Like it's kind of giving me similar vibes. Outer space. And you see, you know what else I'm getting from this? I know it's weird, but don't forget what I said before we started this. But you see that windmill, the power supply? That's up in the air, and so is outer space. And I said to you, you, some of you have to have heard of, oddly enough, it has happened where a bird has swooped down and picked up a small dog, a very large bird, like a large eagle. There's some birds that are huge. Okay. Now, he's from southern Australia, so what large prey birds could, like birds that could be that big, that could do that and mistake him for something else? Um, you know what I'm saying? I know this is strange, but let's just keep going. We're going to clarify with the crow tarot. And oddly enough, that's a bird. And these cards have been sitting here for probably 48 hours now. And this stuff that's come down, I'm telling you, I'm just being honest. It came through earlier today. You know, it's probably about 30 in the evening right now, and I was getting that like earlier this afternoon. But I didn't have time to, I knew I was saving this for this time of the evening. So let's see what comes out under parties. But more so to do with where it seems this party is going on. Because it seems like it's a wooded area, but yet there's false light. It's weird. Anyway, the whole case I think is very bizarre. Okay, two are sticking out. We've got the Six of Pentacles and the Devil. Honestly, honest to shit, I'm telling you now, all I'm getting off this is that what happened to Gus is so messed up that, and of course and it's okay, messed up in the sense that nobody in a million yellow shitstorms would even think of this. So of course everybody's finger pointing because 9 out of 10 times that's the way it goes. But I just feel like this case is different. It's unfair. and it's unbalanced because what happened to him, like I say, it was a fluke. And this unbalanced energy here with the devil is basically telling me, it's like trying to keep track of somebody in a party, a party with a bazillion people in the woods at night. Because it is night, you can tell it's night. Let's see what comes out under wooded area. Gus Lamont. Which, what I'm saying in reference to him and where he was from, once this whatever happened, it's like looking for the fly shit in the pepper at that point, looking for a little guy where he went missing. Wooded area, please. Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. This is a falsehood, lie. And I feel like that's what's happening right now. What's being investigated with his disappearance is all a waste of time because it's not true. What they're investigating didn't happen. It's not their fault. It's just I feel like whatever happened to him was very strange, and nobody and nobody's fault. That's the thing. Let's see what comes out under homicide. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. Pentacles is Earth. Okay. The bird is sitting on top of the pentacle. The bird, if let's just say this, let's just go with that scenario. Okay, let's just say. And something picked him up and flew a bit and then dropped him. He's not going to survive that. And then even if even if it only took him half a mile away, like he might be right there under the nose, but nobody would think to look there because how would he get there? And why would he be there if somebody took him? They're not gonna take him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's something really weird. And then possibly what would happen if the little guy's there and he's not, he's just there. Look at all the things that would be in the outback that could get him. Nothing human related whatsoever. See what I'm saying? Like that bird is sitting on this pinnacle, like it was a fluke accident. Do you know what I mean? A freak thing that nobody would ever even realize would happen. It's like what I'm getting from this, it's like you're going about your day. Everything's normal. You pull out that knife that you always use to maybe, cut the roast or whatever, but for whatever reason, it flipped out of your hand, flipped up in the air, flew down and stabbed you in the foot. Do you know what I mean? Like something that you would, it's like, where you're sitting there later and you're like, I can't believe that happened. Threw your whole day off, you know what I mean? Threw everything you were doing off because just like Gus, he was just outside playing and nobody did anything wrong, and yet, boom, he's gone. I know this is weird, guys, and again, it's for entertainment, right? We're just trying to, out of concern for these missing children, we're looking into what the cards have to say about it, but what we can only, at the end of the day, just kind of wait and see if they ever find out and refer back to these readings. And, bottom of this deck, Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is being stationary, stuck, stubborn, like I'm not going to move, I'm not going to budge. But what I get from that is, okay, put yourself in this scenario where your child does disappear and you know you didn't do anything wrong and nobody around you did anything wrong. You can't even bloody well explain what happened. You got no choice but to stand your ground. You got no choice. You didn't do anything wrong. You're grieving, you're having to deal with an investigation. Long story short, you still don't have your child back, but you got to stand up for what's right and what's true, right? That's what I get off this Four of Pentacles. Okay, let's get the advice. We're using the Necronomicon deck. For Gus Lamont, please give us the advice on his disappearance, what's come out so far. And we will probably do a part two just to see how, are they ever going to find out anything? Um, and possibly, I don't know, just anything else that we might get out of this, but we'll see. Let's get one on Solitude, Alone but Not Lonely, and Colorless Angel. And obviously, they're just saying now the fact that it's an angel, colorless, is maybe because obviously he might not no longer be with us. And if he's, especially if what I just described could have possibly happened. He's no longer with us. So alone but not lonely, you know, like just this whole vibe is so sad and unfortunate. Okay, let's see what comes out of that. Here we go. Two of Cups. This is a couple. This is right. This is love energy. I really, really, really feel that this is just confirming it. That, nobody's family's perfect or anything, but I feel like he was loved and looked after as good as anybody, can look after anybody, I guess, right? Um, and he was happy. He looked like a happy little kid. And the parents maybe weren't together, but they still both loved him very much. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, their focus was both on him, even though they weren't together. But I picked up from the information that I have seen online that they kind of have, held each other up through this. So that's a good thing, regardless, right? Let's see. Now it comes out with this Six of Pentacles, the devil under that party card. Four of Pentacles again. See? This is just a horrible situation that they've been put in by whatever happened that happened. And I feel like they just genuinely don't know. I don't know. You don't know. They don't know. Nobody knows. Like I say, it's like trying to figure out because it's not anything anybody would think of. It's like trying to find, look at all these people. They all just look like black silhouettes. And you're trying to find the silhouette that possibly you came with, and there might be 65 other people there. Good luck, right? Just like figuring out exactly what happened to him. Good luck. Because it's not a crime that you can track, like investigate and find clues and figure out what happened. It's a way more difficult in this scenario. Seven of Swords under wooded area, please. Two of Swords. See? The Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is needing more information. Now, aside from a reading like this, good luck. Unless a fluke of nature happens again and somebody sees something else that happens and then they wonder, did that not happen to him? I mean, anything can happen, guys, right? But this Two of Swords is there's more to know. There's things to know that nobody would think to know, aside from it must have been the parents or the grandparents, or it was this over here. It was people that we don't know, and then we investigate over here, and then we investigate that. It's like routine because what else could have happened? In their minds, if he fell in something or if he, just got hurt by things around there or their animals, you would see evidence, but there isn't any. But then there really wouldn't be if he's in an area where there's no people. And he's picked up and flown even further in a remote area and then dropped by whatever picked him up, right? Ace of Pentacles. You believe in aliens? Some people do. Some people say they've been abducted by them. Do I think it's that? No, I think it's more of a nature thing. I know that there's creatures out there that people think don't still exist, and they do. King of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. The King of Action. But I feel like this is that Ace of Pentacles and the Homicide. I feel like this is possibly the father's intuition, um, trying to take the right action and control fire in the belly of just wanting to probably run screaming in the night to find his child. But which way do you go? What good is that going to do when you don't know which way to go? I just feel like this is just somebody that'll never give up on the love they have for their son. And possibly just the whole thing, like maybe, like I say, they've really supported each other as a couple. Just Two of Cups up here in the overall energy. They've supported each other as a couple through this tragedy. And I just feel like that's going to continue, which is, still a good thing, but it's not, like that's not a good reason to, how am I can't even talk now because it's like, I don't want to say it's a good thing because what happened to him isn't good, right? Either way, whether I'm wrong or right, something not good happened. The fact that his parents didn't get along and weren't together maybe wasn't good either. So if some small good thing happened, at least there's that. That's all I'm saying. And at least that they can support each other and not be alone through this. That's all I'm saying. Because I really don't think that anybody did anything, and I just don't think that it should be any worse for them than it already is. Okay, it's not really close it out, but we're just gonna close this initial energy out. I probably will do a part two just to see what more comes out of what we can find out about little Gus and how this possibly might just turn out for the family you know, well, I guess more than likely it'll just turn out like all the rest of them do, where it's just a bunch of nothingness. Child gone, and doesn't seem to be ever any evidence of anything. It's just that's it. And at least with this one, I don't, get these that I just feel like it's very different than the other disappearances where there are bad people behind it and involved. So we're using the um, Archangel Animal Oracle cards, which makes sense because like nature had what to do with it. So let's just see how we can close this energy out safely, and we will come back again on another day, hopefully sooner than later, and just kind of do a part two for Gus Lamont. March 2026. Hopefully this is still yet a clue. Okay, so this is significant to me right away. Rhinoceros. Be strong and courageous, which is what the family has to do. But it's also significant in the fact that a rhinoceros, holy shit, do you know what I mean? They could kill you in one sweeping motion and probably fire you about half a mile gone. I'm not saying a rhinoceros did that. Are there rhinoceroses in Australia? I don't know. Probably, but I don't know. I'm not an expert on that. Could be. Do I think a rhinoceros got him? No, I don't. I think it's just a point that everybody can look at a rhinoceros and be like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like nobody wants to mess with a rhinoceros. But if there's things that are flying around that you don't, that nobody's even seen, or maybe, like I say, a large hawk, or not hawk, but like an eagle that's just massive, be there and gone, nobody even see, you know what I mean? Like birds can be a lot more inconspicuous than a rhinoceros. And it's not even that that motion would be hurtful, but it would be, a child can't stand a fall like that. Not never mind the scare of being picked up and it would be hurt with the claws. It wouldn't be good. Okay. But I just feel like this is why this is here. So we're not closing it out. It's just be strong and courageous, because that's where the family's at this point. Um, so I'm going to leave it there, guys. Again, feel nobody ever does, but I will still say it. Feel free to comment your thoughts on it. Again, I know it's bizarre, but it's anything's possible. And I can only tell you honestly what comes through, and we'll see what we can. We may find out. We might not. I don't know. Yeah. But again, feel free to comment. I'm losing my voice. Excuse me. And if you enjoy, I don't enjoy kids going missing, but if you enjoy looking into these situations and possible crime cases, just hit the like button so I know that you're supportive, and it's free. Make sure you're subscribed. Blah 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 blah. Take care of yourself, guys, till I get back to you with a part two. Bye for now.